Did you know that the Soviets loved to drink the coolant from their fastest homes? It might sound a bit absurd, but that's really how it was. If you think about it, it's crazy. We all know that the coolant from any engine is 100% toxic and should not be drunk. However, this was not true for Soviet fighter jets. Today, I'm sharing the story of a pilot involved in a corruption network about this very mythical coolant from the Soviet Union, which was edible. To talk about this, first we need to give a little context. Many planes use the coolant loved by Soviet pilots, like the Tupolev Tu-22, but the most famous one, of course, was the MiG-25. This interceptor was the fastest of its time, reaching speeds of Mach 2.8 or even more, depending on how little the pilot valued his life. In the 1970s, materials technology was not as advanced as it is today. At that time, the only way for a plane to withstand the heat and cold of flying at such speeds was by making the fuselage out of titanium. Titanium was extremely resistant to temperatures but very expensive. Although it was technologically possible to build planes from titanium, using it made mass production unfeasible. The solution that the development team of the Mikoyan-Gurevich 25 came up with was simple. They didn't use titanium but steel. Heavy steel but strong and cheap. And for the temperature changes, every possible centimeter was cooled so that any temperature could be withstood, both low and high. An intricate cooling and anti-freezing system was created that allowed the plane to fly at incredible altitudes and quickly go from subsonic to supersonic speeds without any trouble. This system used hundreds of liters of a liquid similar to pure alcohol. In my research, I found accounts from Sergei Savelyev, a Soviet Air Force lieutenant who participated in Mikoyan-Gurevich 25 operations during the Cold War, and he also saw with his own eyes how a whole market developed around the coolant of the Soviet fighter jets. Before a high-altitude supersonic flight, each plane was loaded with kerosene and about 60 liters of pure medical alcohol and another 350 liters of a 60% hydroalcoholic mixture. The diluted ethanol was used in the anti-icing and cooling systems, and the pure alcohol was used for the radars and electronic equipment. Because of this, the MiG-25R was nicknamed the Drinker, Flying Gourmet, or Milk Cow. Naturally, after each flight, dozens of liters of that valuable leftover liquid were drained from the tanks. They were bottled in all kinds of containers and immediately became a sort of universal currency. There was enough for all. Pilots usually kept the rectified alcohol, while engineers or technicians took the diluted. The latter had a slight smell of rubber sealants. The head of the Fuels and Lubricants Service enjoyed special respect. Tons of alcohol were stored in his warehouse. His official rank was captain, but everyone treated him like a colonel. I never knew. Did we see how? Never. No one noticed his private reserve of surplus alcohol, although probably some bribes with alcohol helped with the inspectors. Our favorite drink was given the poetic name of Crimean wine Mazandra. In military folklore, the name became a humorous acronym. Mikoyan Artyom, glorious son of the Armenian people, brings joy to his aviators. There were other versions too, like Mikoyan generously supplied aviation with Al name. It depended on the battalion, but it was generally something similar. The amount of alcohol circulating on our base was hard to imagine. For example, when a neighbor from the dormitory, a technical service non-commissioned officer, opened a huge wardrobe. Under lock and key, you could see endless rows of 3-liter jugs of Mazandra, all cloudy, and rows of 10-liter metal canisters. It was said that some of the more unhinged ones, when they ran out of containers, stored the alcohol in the bathtub. Officers and non-commissioned officers often discussed how to improve the taste of the Mazandra taken from the plane. They used activated charcoal, dark beers, walnut shells, and other ingredients that removed the smell. Mazandra without a strange taste was highly valued, especially the kind that never touched the plane. I never saw it directly, but it's obvious. Many times when the amount was assigned for the flight, they didn't pour it to obtain highly pure Mazandra. Some resorted to a dirty trick. Before the flight, they poured into the system the liquid drained from another plane and kept the new one. This was very dangerous because the used mixture could fail at -60 degrees or when going supersonic. when the surface of the plane heated up to more than 1,000 degrees. The alcoholic currency of the base was in demand not only among aviators, but also among tank crews and motorized infantry. It could be exchanged for many things or even sold to civilians of the German Democratic Republic, who certainly appreciated it. It's not every day you can drink alcohol heated and cooled directly from the belly of a Mikoyan Gurevich 25. It was said that some clever technicians saved up enough for alcohol to buy themselves a Zhiguli. Several funny anecdotes circulated about Mikoyan Artyom and his creation. One story said that when the generals found out the plane carried almost half a ton of alcohol, they exclaimed, "Will the pilots become alcoholics?" To which Mikoyan replied, "If it's necessary for the plane's performance, I'll fill it with cognac, and the pilot's morale is your problem." Free alcohol from home is a thing of the past. During widespread scarcity, a half-liter vodka cost 3.6 rubles, while the average salary was 100 rubles. Alcohol was expensive, especially since a loaf of bread was 20 kopecks and a train ride only 5. Mazandra could be sold at half that price. Nowadays, a bottle of vodka costs the same as 5 subway rides or 6 loaves of bread. That's a lot. In fact, it's actually 3 or 4 times cheaper, to be exact. Today, both the Mikoyan Gurevich 25S and 222Ms are history. Initially, they used 400 liters of alcohol, but after officers complained to the manufacturer, they now use just 5 liters, not enough to supply an entire base. Having unlimited alcohol didn't make us alcoholics. We only drank on special occasions like celebrations, plus just an occasional small drink to warm the throat. Working at the air bases of the German Democratic Republic was quite prestigious and very well paid. We all made sure not to stain our reputation, since in extreme cases we could be transferred to Siberia. Nobody wants to go that far, especially somewhere so cold. I admit I heard stories of officers asking to remove the Mazandra from planes because it was making their men alcoholics. That wasn't the case with us. Accounts of Sergei Sabelyev, 2021. What did you think of today's story? I'll read your comments. Did you know that a helicopter crashed into Reactor 4 at Chernobyl?